Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report OTAs Winners and Losers edition. Now, like I said, OTAs. Do not get worked up over it. It is May. You don't win Super Bowls in May. It's not even mandatory. It's just a good way to kind of recap what's going on and hand out some awards. I say all that, and someone's still going to get super pissed about someone being called a loser. You're not really a loser in OTAs. But my first winner is Za'Darius Smith. I mean, how could I not lead the show off with the newly acquired defensive end from Minnesota? We got our first look at Smith. He is wearing number 99, an all-time defensive end number. If I'm a quarterback, if I'm a quarterback, I do not want to see 99 and 95. Those are intimidating numbers. I want to see 63 or 78, right? Not 99. Now, his energetic and lively personality showed during the second OTA practice, which was open to the media, and that's putting it lightly. I really enjoyed watching his interview with the media and just the way he fields questions, his energy, all that stuff. It was really fun to see him bring some life to the room and not just be a guy who's got 10 sacks last year, right? Now, he's also very excited to be in a 4-3 defense. Did not have that opportunity in Baltimore, in Green Bay, or in Minnesota, and he really harped on how he thinks he's going to be better when he puts his hand on the ground, especially when you play opposite Myles Garrett. Now, here was Za'Darius Smith's reaction to being traded. I was excited. I get a chance to play in a 4-3 system, and that's something that I never played in while I was in the league. I was happy, man, and knowing that I get a chance to go be with Dalvin Thomlinson again and get a chance to be with Myles, man, it's great feeling. Za'Darius Smith is going to feast. I mean, we're talking about the Browns putting together, in my opinion, a top 3 edge rusher duo with Myles Garrett in his 16 sacks last season and Za'Darius Smith, who finished with 10 sacks, 26 combined sacks between these two players alone. Ladies and gentlemen, the days of Taven Bryan being this team's second sack leader are over. Za'Darius Smith is a bona fide Pro Bowl edge rusher. 10-plus sacks in 3 of his last 4 seasons. He also talked about how last year in his interview with the media, he played through a knee injury the second half of the season because the way his contract worked out, he wasn't going to get paid much if he wasn't going to play. So he sucked it up and he played through a bad knee injury, which is sort of why he fell off in the second half of the season. But he assured everyone he's healthy and ready to go. And 10 sacks, if he's healthy, could really balloon up to 12, 13. And that's not even factoring what Myles Garrett's going to do. Now, this is what Za'Darius Smith said on Garrett being the alpha dog, if you will. I don't even think about that. I just play my role as a player. And when you go into a team, different team, you can't focus on that stuff. You got to be all about the team and helping the team win. Like I said when Za'Darius Smith got traded, we are talking a Batman and Dark Knight combination here. There is no Batman and Robin, okay, as we love to put it when it comes to edge rushers. You have Batman, and you have Dark Knight, right? You have just 2 incredible edge rushers on the same team to get together. Kind of reminds me of the Colts with Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. Which one's better? Have your pick of the litter. It's Garrett, but Za'Darius Smith would be a number 1 edge rusher on, 28, 27 other teams. A lot of teams. He is that good. And for the Browns to have him as their second fiddle and plus a rotation with Obo to keep legs fresh, this pass rush is going to be the best this team has ever seen. Scratch that. This franchise has ever seen. Now, Kevin Stefanski was very complimentary of Za'Darius Smith, saying, Za'Darius has been awesome. Just having him in the building, he's a ball of energy. He's great around our players, our young players. He practices hard. He does a great job out here. When he's in the building, in the weight room, and in the meeting rooms, on the field, he brings some juice to what we are doing. So, over or under time, 10 sacks for Za'Darius Smith. He had 10 last season, in a season where he was banged up the second half of the year. Opposite Myles Garrett, where so much attention goes to 95, give me the over, baby. Give me close to 11 or 12 sacks for Za'Darius. Moving on to our first loser. It's Greg Newsome, not because he's bad. No. Don't run with this. He's only a loser with bunny ears and asterisks because he was the slot corner for the first OTA session open to the media, and I know he doesn't really want to play slot corner. So for now, at least after one OTA session in May, so nothing is set in stone, Greg Newsome appears to be the slot corner, but then again, things can change very quickly. Last season, Greg Newsome, I wouldn't say regressed. I think people probably are a bit too harsh on Greg Newsome. In reality, he's a very good cornerback. He just potentially could have gotten this team a much-needed receiver. So to talk ourselves into trading Greg Newsome for a receiver, we sort of pushed Greg Newsome down a little bit to justify why we should trade him for Jerry Jeudy. But now that you didn't trade him for a receiver, let's all remember, Greg Newsome is a good cornerback. Now let's also remember, Greg Newsome tweeted out no to the idea of him maybe playing slot corner again. So that's why I have him down as a loser. He may very well move. That easily could happen. Maybe it's his former Northwestern teammate, Cam Mitchell, who's the week 1 starting slot corner. But I'm just putting him down as a tentative loser, more or less to report the fact that he was in the slot to start practice on Wednesday. So this is just something to monitor during training camp and preseason, because this team doesn't have a lot of roster battles, right? I would say of the 22 starting jobs, they're all pretty much sewed up opposite of, aside from who's next to Dalvin Thomlinson. So for now, you can just kind of monitor this one and see where Greg Newsome plays throughout the training camp and preseason. My next winner is Jerome Ford. So with no Nick Chubb in the house for OTAs, Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, David Njoku, and Joel Bitonio, some veterans not coming to OTAs, Jerome Ford has an opportunity to run with the first-team offense, and he is hopefully making the most of it to prove the coaching staff right when he is the RB2. This is what Zach Jackson from The Athletic said. Jerome Ford got the first action and first carry in the first-team drill. Chubb's absence makes this an even bigger spring for Ford, who impressed this team's decision-makers as a rookie, but appears headed for a much larger role this season. Now, we have spent a lot of time, not just on this channel, but just Browns fans in general, discussing the idea of bringing back Kareem Hunt or signing Zeke or adding another running back. And myself included, I am guilty of this. Do we really want another running back because this team would be better with Kareem Hunt or better with Zeke? Or is it because it's the offseason and we're bored and we are just poking the Browns' Twitter saying, tweet out the Browns to sign someone, do something? It's more fun when your team signs a player in the offseason than not signing players. I think it's more of the latter. I think this team is going to be very good with Jerome Ford as its RB2, and we probably just want them to bring back Kareem Hunt because we're kind of bored and it's the offseason and we want some news to talk about here. Now, I will give you guys something to talk about, and that is today's sponsor, BetUS. When you go to chatsports.com/bet and you use promo code Browns125, they hook you up with a 125% deposit bonus. So if you put $100 in, they're going to turn the 100 and make it $225 to bet with. So make all of your picks responsibly, of course, at chatsports.com/bet and our promo code to unlock a 125% deposit bonus. My next loser is the offense. The offense is always the loser in training camp for all 32 teams. You can always guarantee that the quarterback will throw a pick 6 in OTAs and training camp and whatnot, and everyone gets super concerned about the offense, and the defense is looking great, okay? This is another piece from Zach Jackson's write-up, who said, Deshaun Watson did let it rip in the 7-on-7 periods, but with little noticeable success on anything down the field. Watson hit Mike Harley Jr. on a deep crosser, but the ball was well behind Harley, and Harley had to go to the ground to catch it. Real highlights of any kind were few, and that's just fine right now. Couldn't agree more. It is May. Defenses always win early on in OTAs and training camp. The offense is installing new things. The defense is told to just go out there and go foot and match them and play hard and bring that tenacity and swagger that all defensive players have. So no, I am not even buying into a little bit of concern. I'm not even giving it one Bernie head. It's just more or less something to keep in mind, but I have to report on everything coming out of Berea. So yes, I would not be doing my job in due diligence if I said the offense looked great in the first day of OTAs. They didn't, but that's okay. It's May. You don't win games in May or June. So what do you guys think about this? Will Deshaun Watson be a Pro Bowl quarterback in 2023? Yes or no? Speaking of fans and speaking of May, it is time for, sports talk radio to invent random and bizarre questions and debates just because it's May and we're all starved for football, so we have to have pointless, endless debates. So let's have this one be the next one. Will Watson be a Pro Bowl QB in 2023? Yes or no? My third and final winner is a combination, Jordan Kunaszyk and Rodney McLeod. So I'm going to combo these two because I just really want to talk about these two players here. Jordan Kunaszyk is a winner because look at Jim Schwartz and also D'Qwell Jackson in this picture. Jim Schwartz is wearing Jordan Kunaszyk's number. So the reason why is Kevin Stefanski, after practice, answered the question with this. So Coach Schwartz is a fan of Jordan today. You'll see he's a fan of a bunch of guys over the course of these practices, but Jordan's a guy that continues to always do what he's supposed to do, so Coach has given him some love. And this is awesome to see because Jordan Kunaszyk is not a lock to make this roster, right? JOK, Anthony Walker, Taki, I think Jacob Phillips and Tony Fields are much, well, the first three definitely, and Phillips and Fields are much closer than Kunaszyk, who was a practice squad, special teamer more or less last year until a bunch of injuries occurred later in the season. So for Kunaszyk to be shining early on, that's great to see because Cleveland does not know who their week 1-3 starting linebackers will be, so they will take all the good play they can get at that position. My next winner, like I said, was Rodney McLeod. Here you can see a picture of him with a pick 6 off Josh Dobbs. So, hey, you get a pick 6 in OTAs, we're going to talk about it. Now, Rodney McLeod, I think, is in line for maybe a bigger season than we probably assume because Ronnie Harrison, the third safety last year, was not really a factor in this defense, but Jim Schwartz likes to roll with 3 safeties, and he loved what he had in Rodney McLeod during their time in Philly, right? 2020, their last season together, 7 pass breakups and 1 interception. The season prior, 2 interceptions. So Rodney McLeod, I think, is going to have a bigger impact on this team than we think. Even though he won't be a true starter, he'll be on the field a ton, especially if the Browns roll with just 2 linebackers until they're really 100% healthy. McLeod's going to get a lot of run time. Now, to wrap up today's show, you know the drill. It is random pick a card time. Just a fun way to end each episode for the off season. Got the idea from part of my take. So I'm going to shuffle this deck of cards. You're welcome to go down to the comment section, type in a random card. If you get it right, I can't be there to celebrate with you, but hey, you'll know in your heart that you won. Now, Producer Jack, you want to pick a card?
Let's do the 5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds. So confidently, too. I'm going to go with the King of Hearts. King of Hearts. Okay. You weren't close at all. 4 of Hearts. 4 of Hearts. So if you got it, congratulations. That's it. I'll see you guys later.